What is one of your favorite things to hear? Whether it's from your spouse, your children, grandchildren, what is one of your favorite things to hear?
I love you.
I love you. I love you.
I'm proud of you.
Mine's I love you. Because normally if they say they love you, they're proud of you.
Oh.
Yeah. So you don't have to look these up because I've got several scriptures. I'm just going to read them. 1 John 4:9. We love him because he first loved us. John 15:12. This is my commandment, that ye love one another as I have loved you. John 15:13. Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friend. 1 John 4:7. Beloved, let us love one another, for love is of God, and everyone that loveth is born of God and knoweth God. John 14:15. If ye love me, keep my commandments. And everybody knows this one, John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. We all want to be loved. We all want to be loved. It's important. And love isn't, it's a want, but more than anything, love is a need. We need to be loved. We all have probably had a time in our life we didn't feel loved. We felt like nobody cared about us. We weren't important. And it hurts. I know there's been several times that I felt like somebody that was really important to me ended up, they didn't care about me the way I did them. And that's one thing we need to remember. It's not everybody loves the same way we love. I'm a person who, I like to hug. I'm a touchy-feely person. I love to give hugs, and I love to show that I love you. But at the same time, I love to give gifts, and I love to do things for people. And that is my way of showing I love you. And it can make us feel like no one cares about us, and we're not important if they're not showing us. Love really is important, and we all want and need love. We all do. It don't matter if you're a baby, a toddler, a teenager who's rebelling and being a pain in the rear end. A lot of times they're doing it, they want that love. Early 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 100s. It does not matter. We all want and need love. It's a proven fact. I'm sorry, when y'all hear that, it's the new wall scent things that we hung up. I didn't realize they were going to make those weird noises. I'm sorry. It is a proven fact that babies thrive more when they're shown love and affection. Why they would do this, I don't know, but a few years ago, there was this big, they did like an experiment in this orphanage with newborn babies. And they had so many babies that they would go in and they would hold them and they would love them and they would take care of them and they showed them love and affection. And then they had the same number of babies over to the side that the only time that they had anything to do with them was when they bathed them, changed their diapers, and changed their clothes and fed them. That was it. That was the only time they had anything to do with these babies. And the babies that got all the love and the affection, they were happier and they were healthier. If you're not loved, you're not going to be healthy because you're going to be worried and stressed. But you know what? That's not just for babies. Children and adults are happier when they know they're loved. I know there's times that, a lot of times I think people go through a depression, and a lot of times that depression is because they feel like nobody cares about them. That if they disappeared, nobody would miss them. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be honest with you, there's been a few times in my life that I have felt that way. That things, the outside world and things with my family came in and made me feel I allowed the devil to come in and put thoughts in my head that made me think my family didn't love me. They didn't care about me. I didn't have any friends. And if I just disappeared off the face of the earth, nobody would notice and nobody would care. Am I the only one that's ever felt that way, or would anybody be honest and say that? I've done that. I think we've all probably have. I read something yesterday, or maybe it was this morning. It was this morning on the way to church, and I thought it was really good, so I want to share with you. Everyone says love hurts, but that is not true. Loneliness hurts. Rejection hurts. Losing someone hurts. Envy hurts. Everyone gets these things confused with love. But in reality, love is the only thing in this world that covers up all the pain and makes someone feel wonderful again. Love is the only thing in this world that does not hurt. True love doesn't hurt. I know I've heard people who've been beat by their spouses, and it's like, I love you, that's why I do this. No, that's not love. That's control. I remember people, when they would spank their children, they'd say, this hurts me more than it hurts you. When I was a kid, I didn't understand that. As a parent, it hurt my feelings that I had to spank my children. It hurt me that they disobeyed or they did something they weren't supposed to do. But out of love, I had to spank them, or I had to ground them. I had to punish them. I had somebody tell me that spanking is not love. Well, my Bible says it is. So if you believe it's not, then you need to go back and read the Word of God. Because there's a difference between spanking and beating. And sometimes a child needs a spanking. See, I had a preacher say, need to take the board of knowledge to the seat of learning. The board of knowledge to the seat of learning. Sometimes they need that. I love it when Tim or one of my children tell me they love me. I love it when my grandbaby calls and said, I love you, Mama. Mama, I love you. I love it when one of my students tells me they love me. That brings me joy. One of my little girls tells me almost every day, I love you, Miss Wright. You're my best friend. That does something to your heart. When my kids tell me, I love you, Mom, that does something. As a parent, you know how special it feels to have your child say, I love you. We all know that. It brings joy to our heart. True love is a wonderful feeling to receive, but you also have to give it. True love is a gift, but you don't just keep it to yourself. You have to share. God's love is way greater than the love that anybody else on earth can give us. Jesus loves us so much that he died for us, and he will continue to love us for the rest of our lives into eternity. No matter how many stupid mistakes we make, the dumb things we do, and how many times we fail God, he still loves us. You know, I hear people say, we just fell out of love. We just fell out of love. God never falls out of love with us. I think sometimes we allow ourselves to fall out of love of God. But he never falls out of love with us. You know, sometimes Tim makes me mad. All of us married people in here, we know sometimes our spouses upset us. They irritate us. They make us mad. But just because he irritates me, upsets me, and makes me mad, I have never fallen out of love with him. Amen. And no matter what, God never falls out of love with us. Sorry, it's a bug. Love is an action word. It's not just a word, it's an action word. What is an action word? Somebody, TJ, what's an action word?
Doing.
Okay, Caleb, action word.
Ouch.
Hitting your brother is not the way you're supposed to be telling it.
Ouch.
quit. An action word is something, the way we were always, well, it's a verb. Anything a squirrel can do to a tree, up, down, around, in, out. Okay. Huh? That's how I was taught when I was in school. Okay, but love is an action word. You can tell somebody you love them all day long. But if you are not backing it up with an action, if you're not showing them, they're just empty words. I think so many times, you know, you get these boyfriends and girlfriends. Oh, I love you. I love you. I love you. Next week, they're with somebody else, and they love them too. That lasted about a week, and then they're with somebody they never loved. That wasn't love. I see these people on Facebook all the time, and it absolutely drives me crazy because they're so in love. They're the greatest thing that's ever happened to them. They're so thankful they're in their life. I love you so much. And then the next week, they're both with somebody else, and they love them so much. You know, that's not love. But we have to have action behind that love.
It's just a word.
Exactly, it is a word.
You have to mean it from that heart.
That is exactly right. Love has to be meant.
Right.
I know Tim loves me.
Mm-hmm.
He tells me he loves me.
Yeah.
But he also shows me. Doing things around the house. Cooking supper when he knows that I've had a rough day. Okay, I'm going to tell you, Thursday, my para, I have a para that works with me with my students, and she was out because her little girl was sick. And so I had a substitute with me, and my substitute was great. But I had a meeting that I had, and I had some paperwork I had to do. Thursday, I was so busy, I didn't even get to eat lunch. I think I stopped long enough to eat like 4 crackers. And I left work and I called Tim and I said, I asked him something. I don't remember what it was I asked him. And I said, I think my sugar's low. I said, I didn't get to eat lunch today and I'm kind of woozy. I said, I don't feel real good. He goes, you want me to cook you? We buy those hamburger patties that you just like had to cook them. They're already patted out. You keep them in the freezer. He goes, you want me to make you a hamburger? I said, make me something. I'm hungry. By the time I walked in the door, it wasn't just a few minutes. He goes, babe, your burger's ready. That's love. He knows. I was tired. He had been home for a couple hours. And I know he was tired too because he has to be at work at 3:30 in the morning. But he took that time, as tired as he was, he took that time to fix me something. That is special to me. That means something to me because that's his way. And they say that a way to a man's heart is through his belly. Well, sometimes some of us women are like that too. You know, but he fixed me that burger, and to me that was special. You know, sometimes bringing me that sweet tea from Chicken Express, that makes me happy. That shows me love. When I worked at the high school on TJ's day off, almost every time TJ's day off, if it was Monday through Friday, he'd bring me a sweet tea on his, you know, Mom, I'm going to bring you a tea. Sometimes he'd just show up with sweet tea. That shows me because they know that I like sweet tea. And Chicken Express is my favorite.
A little bit harder now.
I know. Well, you can take it, give it to Ebony. She'll get it to me. But anyway, you learn what makes them happy. You learn what, okay, one of my nephews, he found out I liked sweet tea. He went to Sonic, bought me a sweet tea, and brought it to me to the school when I was still at the high school. Didn't realize I'm sitting there working. I look, and he had wrote little notes around my Sonic cup. To the best aunt, I love you, Reneé. And that was so sweet. I thought that was just the neatest thing that my nephew did that for me. And I would like, oh, I didn't notice that. A little bit, and you take a drink and how it turns as you set it down. Then I'd find another, and he would write it different spots on the cup. So I really had to, so then I start turning it, looking, and he had wrote about 4 or 5 different little notes on the outside of my Sonic cup. Sometimes you got to put forth extra effort to show that love. Those things are ways that Tim shows me he loves me. Jesus loves us, and he shows us every day with the wind, the trees, the sun, and the air we breathe, how he provides for us. We don't just have it because of who we are. We don't just have it because we worked for it. We don't just have it because it fell in our lap. Everything we have is because God allowed us to have it out of his love for us. So how are you showing you love him? Are you obeying the 10 Commandments? Reading the Bible? Praying? Being faithful to church? But also helping others when you can. Sometimes maybe it's surprising and blessing others in a way to show your love for them. It's important that we let other people know that we love them. We have to be showing them we love them, showing them that we care. Hebrews 13:2 says, "Be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for whereby some have entertained angels unaware." Have you ever thought that maybe God sent somebody to you to help somebody? And maybe you didn't help them? I ain't helping you. And it was an angel sent from God. Or maybe you did help them, and it was an angel sent for God. We don't know. I know there's people out there who just want whatever they can get for free. I've seen it. I've dealt with people like that. But there are times that there are truly people who need help. And God will lay on your heart to help them.
If you don't help them, it swear me to death if I don't help them.
Yep.
I thought, no, that's wrong. I said, no, it's wrong, and I got it.
That's right.
Why did I do it?
When we know that God has laid on your heart. Do you know that when you help somebody like that,
Yes.
when you help them, God's going to bless you for it? But I truly believe if God sends somebody and you're supposed to be helping them or blessing them somehow and you don't do it,
Yes,
I believe that that's going to come back on you.
it sure will.
It will. If God tells you to show love and kindness to someone, do it.
Yes.
God has a reason for it. Like I said, I'm a hugger. I love to let people know I love them. Because I know what it feels like to feel unloved at times. I've had it happen more than once. That I have felt unloved, uncared about, unappreciated. That nobody cared. Make sure your family and friends know you love them.
Yes.
Because we're not guaranteed tomorrow. We're not guaranteed to have that next time to tell them, I love you. I try to tell my children every day. The two that don't live with us anymore, they've moved off, Texas and Virginia. I'm not always able to tell them every single day. But I do try to text them, and I do try to, we have a Facebook Messenger group that I try to message and tell them on there. But I don't do it every day, and then I feel bad. Because we're not guaranteed tomorrow. If you still got your mama, tell your mama you love them every day.
I show her every day.
There you go. Show her.
Every day.
That's what we need to do. Show them. Tell them. You still got your daddy?
No.
Let them know. Let them know you love them. And if you don't, maybe God's going to lay somebody else on your heart to say, let them know you love them and care about them. We've got people right here in this church who need love, who need to know that they are appreciated, that they are important, and they are needed.
I bought her a Subway sandwich Friday. Yeah, baby.
You know what? Sometimes that's all it takes.
And left the other half in the refrigerator.
Give her that Subway sandwich. That's a good way to say I love you.
That's a good way to say I love you because those are expensive.
And they're good.
They're really good.
Caleb bought supper yesterday, cooked today. Like I said, we got home from church. Caleb cooked supper, or cooked lunch, and he did a good job. They know on Sundays because, I get up, we get ready for church, and I preach, and then I go home, and we eat lunch. I kind of relax a little bit and get my message ready for Sunday night. And I told him, I said, I'm not cooking on Sundays no more. Somebody else is going to cook, or we're going to go out to eat. Because they always take their naps. And so, to me, when they step up and say, I'm going to cook, or I'm going to pay for us to go out and eat, They're showing they love their mom and daddy. And I appreciate that. And he did a good job. And don't let me forget, TJ did dishes. So Caleb cooked and TJ did dishes. They both showed Mama they love Mama today. They made Mama happy and made Mama proud. TJ cooked supper last night.
He will not wash the dishes.
How you gonna cook and don't watch this? He cooked the food, but he don't watch the dishes.
Well, I came up with this rule that there's 4 of us. And if we all 4 work together, it'll be done. And I said, when Mama cooks, Mama ain't doing dishes. They're going to do dishes. So today, Caleb cooked, and TJ started washing dishes. So I told Caleb, I said, well, put the clean ones up so TJ will have place to put the ones as he washed them. Tim goes, I thought Mama said who cooks ain't got to do dishes. I said, he ain't doing dishes. He's putting up the clean ones. TJ's doing dishes.
He won't do dishes and won't take the trash out.
Well, we try to work together. I told him, I said, we all work. We all live there. We need to work together to keep it done.
I don't live there, but I tell him this.
But we need to make for sure that we're not just saying the words, not just saying, I love you. The words are empty if it's not backed up. You have to have actions. I'm a type of person, I like to buy small little gifts. Sometimes you can cook a meal for somebody. If you know that maybe they're going through a struggle, or maybe they just don't feel good, or maybe just go cook them a meal and take it to them. Or maybe you could give them a gift card that they can go buy them a pizza, or, all of the restaurants around here have gift cards. You can go get a gift card and give it to them and say, here, go get you something what you want. Go out and eat, or get it and take it home. You can do stuff to help people. Just be kind. Sometimes a hug goes a long ways. A lot further than you would think. Just make sure they know they're loved. It means more than just hearing the words. Love makes you happier. It is more valuable than all the money in the world. You can have a pocket full of money, but if you don't have love, you haven't got a thing. All these rich people always going and buying. But I think they buy so much because they think the material things is going to make them happy, because they don't have honest to goodness love. Love is a biological necessity. We cannot live without it. God gave us his greatest gift, and that is when he sent his son to die on the cross so that we might live. I love all of you. Every single one of you, I love you. And I hope you know that I do. And I hope I'm showing you that I do. I know there's times I feel like maybe I'm failing and I'm not doing enough. That maybe there's more I can do. And then I think, and I know this is going to sound really bad, sometimes I think I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I work all week at school, and I bring home papers. I'm like, Caleb, you want to help me? Caleb grades my math papers. I bring them home. Caleb, you want to grade some math papers? He's helped me twice now, haven't you? I got some math papers at home I need you to grade. But Caleb is really good at helping me grade papers. And so I work all week at school, and I bring home papers, and we grade on weekends. And Saturdays is kind of my day that I rest, but I also prep for Sunday, and I'm praying and, having God lead me where he wants me to go. So I get tired. And then I feel bad because I'm tired, because I feel like I'm not doing enough for the church. I feel like I need to be doing more, because I want y'all to know how important y'all are to me, how important the church is. I do love y'all so much, and I want to do what God would have me to do.
No, Sister Reneé. You're doing it now.
And I just pray for God to give me strength so I can do more, because I don't ever want somebody to say, that pastor don't do nothing down there. That pastor does not do anything, and I don't want that. I want to be what God would have me to be. And I want y'all to be thankful to have us here.
Yes.
And not just him and not just my boys, but me too.
Oh, 4, 5, 6 of y'all. 7 or 8. I still love you. I don't care what it is. I still got feelings and love for you every day of my life.
We appreciate it.
Thank God, thank him. I go to bed, I say, Lord, I'll be thinking about y'all all the time. All the time. What you kind of be saying, what you sitting up there saying, talking to yourself for? I say, I ain't talking to myself, I'm talking to God.
There you go. You bet. Anyway, I hope y'all know how much we love y'all, how much we appreciate y'all. That I'm so thankful. Like I said, we have been here 10 months. We've almost got, it'd be November, I think our first, well, in October I was appointed, but we didn't get to make it until November. But November will be a year that we've been here. And I love y'all. And y'all are my family. You know, you make family really quick. And my church family, I love. And so.
My brother was asking about you today, and I was telling him. He was like, she nice? I said, yes. She she's fine. Y'all just said, she can bring the mess. I said, yes, she can bring the mess. I said, you need to come and see. And I will.
Well, thank you. But, so anyway, as our way of showing that we love y'all, we have got a birthday surprise for Sister Betty. So after we do the dismissal prayer, we just want everybody to come into the fellowship hall. So we're going to, TJ, will you dismiss us in prayer and go ahead and pray over the food as we get ready?
Lord, thank you for another opportunity to come into your house with some praise and honor and glory, Lord. Ask you to take this message and let it touch our hearts, our minds, and our souls, Lord. Ask you to touch each and every one of us and bless us in our lives, Lord. Ask you to touch this food and bless it to the nourishment of our bodies and blessings of prayer.